What I do know is that the protesters are acting in solidarity with Quad's 3 demands for divestment, financial transparency, and amnesty. I believe they are also now demanding a commitment from Columbia not to send in NYPD or public safety, which we believe would be a grave risk to the well-being of students on this campus, including the students who are in Hind Hall right now. And they're also asking for a commitment from Columbia for food and water to be brought in. Again, these are basic things that ensure the safety of their own students.
Yep. That's what the future holds. That's what we'll be up against. Happy Wednesday morning, guys. Okay. So our revolutionaries, the freedom fighters that we have on the left, oh, you need to give us food. There's a great video out there of a woman crying last night. It's finals week. Can I go home? I played that clip for you, but first thing in the morning, the foul language that she uses incessantly is probably a little much. Okay? Like to have a cup of coffee first before hearing all that. So yesterday, last night, finally, New York said enough. Columbia yesterday came up and told the protesters at 2 o'clock that they had to be off campus. They gave them a deadline. Hey, you guys have destroyed enough property, interfered enough with people's lives. At 2 o'clock today, either you're out of here or we're going to get rid of you. Okay. 2 o'clock rolled around and NYPD started assembling, let's put it this way, to get ready. Columbia started going in and suspending students. And again, like I've said, it's going into finals. We're 3.5 years to graduate, and a month before you're going to go through your finals and graduate. Oops, you got expelled. You got suspended. And Columbia, rightfully so, came up and said, if you're here, you're not going to be allowed to go back to class, and you're not going to be allowed to graduate. Go look what Columbia costs. Imagine being one of the parents and going, I dropped how much for you to get kicked out at the 11th hour? Well, damn, isn't that just beautiful? So, last night, around 9 o'clock, the NYPD went in and started arresting everybody. Throughout the day, the protesters, if you want to use it, the militant protesters decided, okay, we're going to prevent ourselves from being kicked out of here. So they broke into a building, broke through windows, and all stood in solidarity inside that building and wouldn't let anybody come get them. Okay. So the cops did a simple one. Said, good, we're going to barricade you in. And you can just stay there until you decide you want to come out. Because you might get hungry. You might want to sleep on something besides the floor. I don't know. You might want to eventually get on with your real life. Because when you come out, you're going to get fed. You're going to get a bed. 3 meals and a cot, kind. Okay. So it's kind of interesting to see what happened yesterday. AOC calling for all these people to have their records deleted. This is a travesty by New York. These people are just doing their civic duty. Really? Where in civic duty? Who's civic duty for who? If you love the Palestinians so much, move there. Protest over there. Go talk over there. Because over here, we don't care. Okay? Mika Brzezinski, MSNBC clown, she was the best. This looks just like January 6th. Okay. So what's she going to say? Breaking windows? Going into a building that, you don't have the authorization to be in. Okay, that's how she's claiming it, right? Okay. So, Mika, if it's just like January 6th, I'm assuming at this point you support all these people being arrested, thrown in solitary confinement for 2.5 years now, with no charges brought against them. Is that what you're saying? Because her answer was, well, I guess they had good role models from MAGA Republicans. No, Mika, let me explain something to you real quick. The J6ers were protesting atrocities done by elected officials in the United States. These idiots are protesting something that we don't give a crap about, that doesn't affect us at all, okay? And isn't even in our country. Big difference, okay? J6ers weren't supporting terrorists. They were supporting the rightfully elected president who got cheated out of his inauguration. These people are supporting terrorists whose sole mission is to kill other people. Big difference. Okay. But I want you to watch this, because this is, what we're up against as this whole balloon fills and fills and fills. Because when it bursts, there's the people on the other side of the fence who will scream and yell until somebody turns the heat up just a little bit, and then they want to go crying home to mommy. It's finals week. I want to go home. You need to give us food and water. No, we don't need to give you shit. Sorry, and we ain't gonna, okay? You have a one-way trip straight to jail. We all know that the balloon's going to go up, that civil war in this country gets closer and closer every day, because we have a bunch of radical leftists, which all these people are. You're not going to find a Trump flag or a MAGA hat anywhere around these protests in Colombia, okay? Unless it's somebody taking video going, let's go see how the stupid half lives. These are going to be the people on the other side who are going to be throwing spit wads at you and hurling insults. They'll probably shut up real quick as the bullets go whizzing by. But this is the cowardice that is leftism. And that's all. I mean, there's no other way to describe a leftist than coward, okay? They're all great as long as they can make demands. We're waiting for negotiations. We're not negotiating. How about that for an answer? There's your negotiations. Get your ass out of there or you're toast. I mean, there's negotiations. My negotiations will be done at the end of an AK-47 or an AR-15. That's how I'm going to negotiate with you. But they're saying how Colombia must give them food, must give them water, must expunge their records, must not charge them criminally, must not send in NYPD. Oh, okay. So what these criminals are telling everybody is, you need to bow to our demands, and we're going to keep doing what we want that breaks the law, that damages property that isn't ours, and that interferes with other people's lives. And you need to support us in doing it. No. Okay? You should have thought about that before you went in. Gee, if we're going to go in this building, guys, we might want to order some Starbucks and get DoorDash to come first. I mean, you got to think like a liberal here. Okay. No, they didn't think about food and water. They just figured they'll demand it, and just like mommy and daddy and their participation trophies, mommy and daddy and the school would go, oh, here's a bunch of pizzas for you and a couple of cases of beer. You guys are all set, right? No. Rightfully so. The NYPD said, well, if you don't want to come out to go to jail, we'll just put you in jail in there, okay? Eventually they'll come out, and eventually they'll get handcuffed. This is what we're fighting against. This is the enemy. We are seeing the enemy in action right now. That as soon as the tide tips, not even turns, out of their direction, they're going to run and hide. They have nothing to stand on. They don't think. They don't train. They don't plan. They just run by how their feelings tell them. Right? You and me, we get organized. We use logic. We use reason. We think past the tip of our nose. And so when somebody barricades me in my house, some liberal mob would be standing up in front of my house and saying, you're not going anywhere. I'd be like, okay, honey, what's for dinner? A couple of years worth of food. I can wait them out. You know, gee, that window that's got a good view of that direction of the house, do you have anything that might protrude from it? How can we clear the yard? Oh, I don't know. There's a couple of little things that can be done real quick. Gee, you know why? Because that's how we planned ahead of time. So if you try to do something stupid, I can counter. You didn't, these morons don't think like that. They just think that they're going to tell you what you're going to do and you're going to obey. Sorry. That doesn't work too well, okay? You know, we obey in life because we have to. The boss tells you to do something, you do it. Why? Because you want that paycheck on Friday. You know, if you don't do it, you ain't getting the paycheck anymore. You do it, okay? You're in the Army, all right? Or Navy, Air Force, Marines, whatever, okay? Your commanding officer tells you to do something, you do it, okay? Some punk-ass, nose-pierced, liberal twat comes up and tells me what to do. Yeah. Hey, go dig a hole, because that's your next bed. No time for these people, but this is the enemy. The enemy is at the door, guys. And this is what it looks like. Don't be afraid. There's nothing to fear. Have a good one. Pinball out.